I'm Cynthia Izaguirre in Dallas, and here are your headlines from North Texas. We're learning more about the many flooding victims from here in North Texas. Among them are two sisters named Brooke and Blair. Richard Solomon shares their heartbreaking story about a bond that even the rising waters could not break.
If the word inseparable could be captured in a photo, you'd find Brooke and Blair Harbor. The two sisters are from Dallas.
Blair and Brooke were the brightest and the most beautiful.
They were on a family vacation in Central Texas when catastrophic flooding swept through the area. Brooke and Blair didn't make it, and understandably, their family is not ready to sit down for an interview.
Whatever emotions I feel or we feel or that we all feel, they feel with an intensity that is hard to understand.
But they've allowed him to. This is Father Joshua Whitfield of St. Rita Church in Dallas, where the girls attended school.
First thing I think of are their smiles, their brightness, which we saw every day in school and all the stuff that they were up to. And in the same breath as I think of those smiles, I think of heaven.
The parents are members of the church who are living through an unimaginable pain. Over the weekend, the girls were staying in a cabin with their grandparents, Mike and Charlene, in a cabin closer to the river in Hunt. Their parents were in another cabin. Friday morning, a wall of water ripped through Hunt, sweeping the girls away. RJ, the girls' father, told the Wall Street Journal he tried to kayak to the girls before it was too late. The girls' last message to their parents was a text that read, "I love you." The girls' school says the two were found the next day. Father Whitfield says their hands were locked together.
To lose two beautiful girls, it's hard to comprehend.
Now a grieving community is surrounding the family. Pink and yellow ribbons line trees in the neighborhood in their memory, and a prayer service was held Sunday at St. Rita.
Right now, words are less important.
What matters most,
simply being there.
In Dallas, I'm Richard Solomon.
When disaster hits, it can leave more than just physical damage. It leaves people searching for answers, purpose, and a way to help. In the wake of this flood, one North Texan found healing in a simple act of service, and he's not alone. Sean Giggy shows us how a community is stepping up with open hands and full hearts.
So this is the trailer we're trying to fill up.
Like the trailer hitched to his truck, Austin Nixon felt empty.
It hits home, seeing the devastation. There's people in it.
Growing up, Austin attended Camp La Junta.
It's definitely contributed to where I am today and the man I am today.
A piece of his childhood now washed away. Like many, Austin, who now lives in Dallas, wanted to help, but felt helpless.
There's this void in our heart, and you're looking for ways to fill that void.
Sometimes you just sit there because you don't really know what to do.
Terry Brown says she and her husband Mike prayed for those affected and for direction.
How can we do more than just pray?
Which led them to World Vision in Grand Prairie.
No question about it.
This morning, the faith-based nonprofit sent 2 large trucks of supplies to Central Texas with plans to send much more. And they are not alone. Thanks to donations, Austin filled his trailer with critical supplies and will deliver them tonight.
The director at the time when I was there as a kid, he'd always say, party on, share with your friends, and so that's what I'm doing now, is trying to share and go down there and help and do whatever we can to do that.
Any part that we can play in that is that glimmer of light for them.
To be that light, World Vision's Asia Mignon says donating time, money, or resources is always an option. But to those who are asking, what can I do? The answer is far more simple.
You just have to say yes.
Just say yes to deliver grace.
There is hope on the other side.
In Grand Prairie, I'm Sean Giggy.
We are still working to learn what emergency plans were in place for areas along the Guadalupe River when it swelled. You may recall decades ago another tragedy along the same river in 1987. Floodwaters engulfed a bus of teenage campers from another Christian camp along the Guadalupe. Kevin Reese sat down with the bus driver who worked desperately to get many of those campers out of harm's way.
It's crushing to know that they're still looking and hoping.
And Richard Coons says that.
It is absolutely brutal.
Because he and his wife, LaVonda,
and grieve and cry all you want to. Scream if you want to.
have lived this nightmare before.
How many? 40 in the box?
It was July 17th, 1987. Richard was a 26-year-old pastor at Seagoville Road Baptist Church. They were leaving a youth camp in Comfort along the Guadalupe River.
He was driving. I was sitting right behind him.
Their bus stalled in a foot of water, trapping them and a church van behind them. And then, the same fast-moving flash flood.
The water just started pushing people down the river.
And I remember thinking, this is my day. I'm going to die today, you know, and I truly thought that I was going to die, so I gave up.
33 were rescued clinging to trees, but 10 teenagers died. One of them was never found.
Because there were many a nights we cried ourselves to sleep, because back then we weren't given the opportunity of counseling. You just toughen up and do the best you can.
They agreed to talk about this again as a message and an offer of support to all of those who are grieving now.
These people are hurting deeper, the most deep hurt that can be. And for the family and friends, do it. Just surround them and love them. And to those sweet people who went through it and survived, you still have a life to live.
A memorial plaque in Comfort honors the lives lost in 1987 and the survivors who had to find a way to go on.
Hold on to your faith. I think that's important in these moments.
This time an even more catastrophic moment, testing hope and faith again. I'm Kevin Reese.
Dallas police shared new details of a shooting involving an officer in Deep Ellum. Chief Como says two groups were arguing when they began shooting at each other Saturday night. Several of the victims flagged down police for help. Police quickly found a man with a gun standing over another man laying on the ground.
Hey, put the gun down! Put the gun down! Down!
You can see there in the body cam provided by DPD, officers command the suspect, now identified as Tevin Valentine, to drop the gun several times. Police say he ran away and pointed it back at them. They fired once and hit him. Officers immediately rushed to help, and Valentine died at the hospital. Police say 5 others were taken to the hospital with gunshot wounds. One, identified as 21-year-old Ellum Fritz, died. No officers were hurt. We're learning more details about a violent ambush at the Prairieland Detention Center in Alvarado on the 4th of July. 10 people are now federally charged after officials say they opened fire on officers outside the facility, hitting one Alvarado police officer in the neck. Prosecutors say the group, dressed in black tactical gear, launched the attack to protest ICE, leaving behind graffiti, flyers, rifles, and body armor. They're now facing a maximum of life in federal prison. And those are your headlines from North Texas.